So why podcasts? Some of you might be people who want to document a personal passion, who want to document a personal hobby, something that you really care about. I think a lot of you are either marketers wanting to, business coach other people or coach other people through something in their life, wanting to market perhaps your services. I know Michelle in the chat referred somebody who is a garden photographer. So your core business is not teaching other people necessarily to do stuff, but your core business might be something that you want to promote. And you might be asking yourselves, why podcasts? Because here are a few things that I've heard about podcasts, and I can't tell you that they're not 100% true. There's some truth to all of these, but I want to just start with the few downsides that there are to podcasting. And again, this all comes from experience and comes from thoughts. And let me tell you straight away, each and every single one of these downsides is something that you can negotiate, is something that you can mitigate, it's something that you can deal with 100%. So is it lots of work? It can be. It can be. I have had episodes where we didn't know what we were doing. We weren't planning it properly. I'm a creative person, and I'm the kind of person who doesn't necessarily always think my ideas through to the end. So sometimes I'm like, oh, we'll get audio clips from here and here and here and here. And then you realize what an absolute nightmare of work you've just caused for yourself. So if you aren't organized, or if you aren't keeping things simple, podcasting can become a lot of work, but it doesn't have to be. This is important. I really want you to know that. Is it, and on that note as well, there's a myth out there that starting a podcast costs lots of money, and it can do. It's a lot of fun when it does, but that's not true anymore. And for sure, you can put an awful lot of money into microphones and stands and pop filters and headphones and preamps and mixers and hosting and about 700 other things. But you can also start using a 20 quid phone, 20 quid microphone, or even your phone. You can outsource your editing, your show notes, your images, your transcript, your marketing, or you can do it yourself. Right? So we're looking here at, you've got some time and you've got some money. And the trick is to find the right balance between that and to be incredibly smart about what you're planning to do and about your vision so that you're not doing any extra work. Is a podcast hard to monetize? Well, it can be hard to monetize directly, as in you're not going to get paid per episode right from day one. But now for me, the stage where I'm at with the podcast, I do have sponsors. So yes, I do get paid directly for making a podcast. And it is also a complete asset to the work that I do that isn't podcasting. So more about that. Is it a busy marketplace? Yes. But that is, again, not a bad thing, because number one, it means the numbers of listeners of podcasts have been rising steadily, and that's been for a decade. And then the market is not maxed out at all, at all. I've just read a study, a statistic, not a study, but a statistic yesterday that said about 30% of households in Canada listen to podcasts. That's 30%. That's miles away from everyone. It is a busy marketplace, as in there are lots of shows out there. But let me tell you another important piece of information. It's one of my favorite crazy ones. Most podcasts never make it past 5 episodes. Most podcasts just kind of start and fizzle out. So you planning, and that is fine. That is absolutely fine. But you worrying about a busy marketplace because of all the new podcasts are starting is just not really a worry that you need to have, because in reality, the marketplace is nowhere near as busy once you get about 4 weeks down the line. And finally, there is a truth here. It does require patience. There is a learning curve for podcasting. You're not going to sound on day one as amazing as you will on day, 365, but that's okay. That's okay. And actually, it's an absolute joy and delight to get better. Now, those are the downsides. We have now talked about the downsides. We're not going to talk about the downsides anymore. Why would we do podcasts then? For me personally, you see some messages there that kind of came in from listeners, and there are many, many more like this. For me, it's not like I do it for the reviews, but certainly the reviews are, for me, a measure of success, a sign that what I am doing, I'm doing well. And in terms of business, you get a message saying like, oh my God, I can hire you. I can work with you as a coach. Think of that from the other perspective. Imagine you're a teacher and you are in a very busy marketplace of, let's say, English as a second language teachers. I know many of you out there. And there are, plenty of fish in the sea. How do you stand out? If you've got a podcast that people enjoy, that people listen to on a regular basis, number one, it's a huge trust builder. People will seek you out because they're already listening to you, as opposed to you having to like chase people down and go, hey, do you want to study with me? Number two, it is very accessible to your audience, and it makes you very accessible to your audience. It's a way that your audience can ask you questions, and you can answer a question and make it accessible to not 2 people, but like 1,000. Number three, it reduces having to look great. And I'm comparing to YouTube here, or having to have these kind of magical visuals, animations, or anything like that. You can communicate a lot of magic through audio and never have to put makeup on if you're a woman. I personally believe that podcasts are magical. They are really, really special because you are communicating not just through your content, through all the stuff that you're putting out there, but just the fact that you're doing it consistently, being there for your listener, sharing your thoughts in your own speaking voice, to them consistently allowing you to speak to them, and you're with them. They're cooking, they're exercising, they're walking, they're gardening. Sometimes it's hard to get that much quality time with a friend in the world that we live in. Like, I have friends who live in the USA who I very rarely get as much time with as I get with some of my podcasts. Your podcaster, in that sense, you really get that feeling they're there for you. And for you to be able to give that to somebody else, in my opinion, is magical and wonderful, and builds a really wonderful relationship for you as somebody who works with people. For me, podcasts are something that YouTube can't, and blogs can't do either. You can't see yourself in the person speaking to you in the same way in YouTube, and you're not as warm to the person who's communicating with you through a blog.